Natassa, darling, it's Jason here, your friend from Bahrain, and I'm making your film for you now. This is just a first little message to say what a pleasure it is to know you and a pleasure it is to do this for you. You're one of the most awesome creative people that I've ever met. Your freedom and the way that you perform your music is outstanding, and that's one of the things that I loved about you from the beginning. Hi there, my name is Jason Carter and I'm an old friend and colleague of Natassa Mare Moumtzidou. She is an extraordinary artist, someone that I met through Artists Without Frontiers many years ago, back in probably 2002. It was a network of artists around the world who were reaching out to difficult situations and making music in unusual places. And I found her on there. I saw one of her videos and I was completely blown away by her creativity and the silence in her music and the power in her music. So I reached out to her by a messenger in that forum, and we started chatting and just sharing stories, sharing creative ideas, and eventually we ended up working together. And I think in the beginning it was a case of sending tracks over the internet and doing demos. But by the time 2006 came, we embarked on the idea of making an album together and doing concerts, and it was quite an extraordinary time.
Dans un rêve, il y a un homme entouré de la beauté du monde.
It was my first real time in Greece, and I loved going to Greece. Crazy people, lovely weather, wonderful hosts. Natassa and Miltos hosted me in their house. And the recording process, as always, is always very intense. It's not an easy process to record music. It's much harder than playing live. But we got through the recording process, and Natassa spent weeks and weeks mixing and mastering this album, *THE EMBRACE*.
Et tendre comme la mer. La mer profonde.
And I went back to Greece months later to do a tour with some amazing musicians and Natassa with her band. And it was a crazy roller coaster. We did some amazing concerts in amazing venues, very memorable. Being on the road, crammed into a small car with a double bass and harp guitar and all this stuff was just fun. And the Greeks are not quiet. The Greeks are noisy. They shout and they argue and contest everything. You know, and I was living in Finland at the time. The Finns are very quiet and reflective. I was, used to silence and nature. So in a way, it was kind of a culture shock, but a magical one. And, Natassa's a very straightforward person. She's a woman of her word, and she loves creativity, and she loves to share creativity and the stage with others who are creative. So I always felt part of a team. I always felt like a collaborator, not a guitarist, And so, for me, Natassa is one of the most outstanding, inspirational artists I've ever known and ever worked with. There's a power in her, and when she performs, she commands a silence and an atmosphere which is unbreakable. And I think I learned a lot from her in that respect. Already I was on the journey myself of understanding silence in music and how, stillness on stage is really important. But Natassa commands it, and she's got a very powerful personality that commands listening, and that's really amazing.
J'ai vu un homme emporter entre ses ailes toute ma vie. Les hommes qui veulent s'embrasser pendant la nuit, pendant une vie. emporté hors du temps. Je suis guidé par ta présence, je perds toute mon existence.
And I miss working with her. I mean, right now I'm making films, and I've deviated from the path of music for a while because film became fascinating and interesting to me. But I do miss that creative, collaborative process with musicians, especially, of course, musicians. And so I'm hoping one day to get back into that, and one day we shall meet again and embark on another crazy, intense journey of creativity together. But I also wanted to say thank you, Natassa, for being in my life. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for inviting me into your creative space. When you invite someone into your creative space, it's a very intimate and very tender thing, which it takes a lot of trust to do that. And so I want to thank you for inviting me into your creative space. Thank you for all the work that you did in terms of our collaborations. I mean, I know how much work it was. The hours, days and nights, weeks and months it takes to arrange concerts, to edit recordings, to, you know, every aspect of it. And also you were such a great host. The energy you had to host me in your house, or your family and your friends, or your artist friends and crazy people in that wonderful city by the sea, Thessaloniki. So thank you for being a story in my life, being an influence in my life. I will never forget those moments with you. So wishing you all the best, and thank you for sharing part of that journey with me.
Κύλησε το μπλε απ' των μάτιων σου τις σιωπές. Πέρασε η ψυχή απ' των χεριών της διαδρόμες. Άφησες το σώμα σου να πέσει απαλά πάνω στην καρδιά μου και έγινα όλη μια